I love how companies are getting rid of DEI and ESG, not because they want to, but because they're going to get sued out of existence. White people are inevitably waking up, especially the white men. Girls, you got you. Oh, sisterhood. Oh my God. White guys are kind of like, yeah, fuck this shit. Time to start fighting back. And I think, it was fun. It was fun while it lasted. Oh shit, here comes the lawsuit. So I do not believe these ideologues, these activists really want to get rid of DEI, but they have to, otherwise, they're going to sue into the ground. And then also, some of the saner heads are prevailing, where they're like, "Hey, enough with the girl boss horse shit. We've lost a lot of money, especially the creative industries. We can't do this activist. Not always, but the majority of, if you're going to go woke, the majority of it is feminism, girl boss, and the reason for that is the the brilliant minds thought girls like Star Wars too, right? Let's just make everybody a lesbian and we'll give them lightsabers. And then girls get all on board on that. And they realized that DEI didn't work. Those stupid people wanting to have fun in their movies and video games. How dare they? Yeah, but we got to knock it off. Apparently, people don't want to play as like a fat EBT collecting Gorta in a wheelchair who's blind in Spider-Man. Apparently they don't want to do that. Apparently they want Spider-Man, if you can believe it or not. And not, I don't know how nerdy you guys are, but if you've noticed Doomsday, I think that's the latest. That actually epitomizes everything that I'm trying to point out. Doomsday, if you weren't paying attention, which you probably weren't, because Marvel/Disney is alienated and they just can't come up with a new idea. They're again bringing back all the white guys. Oh my God, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans. And they really think it's that. They really think it's like Kathleen Kennedy. They really think this is like making chocolate chip cookies. You just add certain ingredient X and certain amount Y and a little dash of A and a little sprinkle of B, and you mix it for that, and then super awesome movie or video game. And they really think that getting rid of the DEI, and all right, stupid white guys, stupid Robert Downey Jr. Well, we'll go back to that. And no, it ain't going to work. And the reason why Doomsday is just rehashing all the Avengers. How long has Avengers been? Has it been over a decade? Maybe even 15 years? The Marvel arc, which was brilliant at the time, they just and that's my whole point. Now they're doing remakes and sequels and prequels and dequels. Ant-Man 7. Are we going to do another Indiana Jones Disney? We're gonna pull old poor Democrat socialist Harrison. I don't know the understandings. Let me drop my pants and embarrass myself like a socialist fucking putz boomer that I am. Look it up. It's embarrassing. You'll never watch Indiana Jones the same way. But I made more money so I can spend the 70 million in my 3 years. You should have just been a fucking carpenter. We should have had Tom Selleck as Indiana Jones. Look it up. Tom Selleck was originally slated to be Indiana Jones. He would have made a great Indiana Jones. Speaking of original movies, you guys can't do it. You got to come up with Avengers, the new Avengers, the Doomsday. Look, hey, you remember all the cool people from 10 years ago? They're in this thing. Wicked, another sequel. And I know those of you in Hollywood are not. I'm doing this because someone paid me for 5 originals. And I find out that I say common sense thing, and 2 reactions happen. One, the liars and the frauds and the fakes all call me a Nazi, because that's an average response to anybody you disagree with. And then my audience was like, I thought I was crazy. Thank you for pointing out the common sense thing that I thought I thought the emperor had no clothes, and you're saying the emperor has no clothes. Thank you very much, Mr. Person who can identify that the emperor has no clothes. So one of the things is that you're also lazy. Great, you got rid of DEI. That's like great. You decide to put an engine in the car, and now how about some wheels? They're like, well, you don't need no fuck. You're not even aware a car has wheels. And that's great. You removed. It's not necessarily DEI. You removed politics, right? You removed politics out of the products, except for Target this week. Target can't help themselves, but hate men. They really can't. They really can't. They got their own deep state in Target, bunch of man-hating people in that company. Good God, fuck off. It's not enough that you get rid of the DEI. You actually have to make quality movies, which then, but that's the whole reason you went DEI is you didn't want to put in the effort. You didn't want to put in the work. You're lazy. Cause of all the problems in the world is you're lazy. I've thought about this. Like I don't like bailing out students with the student loans, but you do know for all the video game industry and Hollywood, the past 10 years, like we're talking 95% of the money you spent, you could have seriously put a dent into people's student loan. Like I'd rather have had you pay off their student loans. Seriously. Or pay down the national debt. I mean, you wouldn't pay it all the way down, but it would, I don't know, buy 3 days of interest. Donate it to the highway system. Go build a golf course, some fucking thing. You just pissed it all away. You literally set it on fire. What's worse is you agitated and pissed everybody. At least the fire would have kept some people warm. And the reason you went with DEI is because you thought we just slap on a coat of the pink feminism or the pride flag or whatever. And you actually thought the people were that stupid and that dumb that they wanted politics. That was the substitute for the quality. No, you're just lazy. You don't want to come up with original ideas. Lord knows however many people who are creative and probably tossed Hollywood a ton of great original ideas, but you're all a bunch of Nepo baby fucks, talentless, worthless, privileged little fucks. You want to know a good idea if it hit you upside the head. I mean, it's 330 million Americans, because a lot of kids. Don't tell me you haven't had brilliant manuscripts or movie scripts or screenwrites or whatever they're called come across your plate. Meanwhile, somebody's cousin sucking your dick and she's the one who's going to get funding for her girl boss fucking adventure. You selected DEI in politics because it was a substitute for hard work. And here's another problem you're going to have to deal with. You also have no talent. I mean, look, if you go look at She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, the people who wrote that there were no veterans. There were no Iraqi or Vietnam veterans. There were no people who had to work hard. There was no one who slung coffee and had to make rent and had to have roommates. I'm not sure all of them. I didn't edit or audit every single person, but that only comes from pampered, spoiled, privileged girls in the suburbs. That's the only place it comes. All the men are out together. Oh my God. It's all about me and my dating. Leslie Headland's the acolyte. That's Star Wars. I know most of you don't know. Leslie Headland, she's a lesbian, of course. Of course. Bullshit. I call bullshit on that. I think 2026 will be the year I start calling straight people out on their bullshit, claiming to be something they're not so they can get attention. Bullshit. I believe she came from wealth, but it just ended up becoming lesbian sisterhood space opera. Go look it up. It's horrible. I mean, I got some Iraqi vet friends. I don't think I have any Iraqi friends. I have some Iranian friends, not a lot, a handful, like 2, but no Iraqi. I mean, Alex Patino, our truck driving Latino agent in the field, could write a better story than all of you because he's worked. Well, he also served in the military too. But absent that, he works a job. My point is none of you have the common human experience and none of you really had to work hard at anything. You never had to work shoveling shit. You didn't have to stay up doing night shifts. You didn't have to work getting shot at. You didn't have to work driving cab. You didn't have to work shoveling driveways. And all you know is daddy's money and socialism good because purpose and meaning and value. That's it. You're not even independent minded enough to tell your teachers to fuck off with the brainwash. You don't even know you're brainwashed. I still don't believe AI can replace the vast majority of humans. It just isn't like, no. But as I started to see, like, oh yeah, they can replace writers at The Guardian. I could see why you Hollywood writers are worried because you don't have an original idea. It's an ingredient list. It's a recipe. And an AI can do that. Oh, come up with strong, independent girl powered, don't need no man. With a feminist arc and have minority, we always joke about how formulaic Hallmark movies are because although I got to hand it to them, the writers probably do come up with way more creativity within that otherwise rigid algorithm and structure. Truly average, boring white girl with dream job of marketing or non-profit, whatever, lives in major metropolitan area. Two amazing guys of wealth and good looks and all fight over her. One heart of gold, other cold, calculating finance investment banker, lawyer type. But she finds out the guy with the heart of gold, and surprise, he gets to inherit the estate, so she's still rich in the end. Insert middle-aged wise woman, cannot be white, must be black or Latina. Will allow Asian on special occasions, but she must be the older, wiser lady to dispense. Who coworker, that's where you find her. And she gives bit of advice because she has the wisdom to see that Phil, the boring guy, but the heart of gold, is the one she should keep. And Lance, oh, you don't want Lance. Lance is the bad guy. He's the surgeon investment banker astronaut. You don't want that piece of shit. No. Well, at least they had to come up with surgeon investment banker astronaut. At least there has to be some writing that the wise black lady at the nursing department gives the otherwise unremarkable 23-year-old white girl on her internship the wisdom to know to go out with Phil and not Lance. You guys don't even have that. If you ever watch, but you don't have to. Do you hate men? Good. Then you don't have to watch She-Hulk. It's so bad. It's sad as they don't even realize they're writing feminist propaganda. And the reason it comes out like that, and the reason you can all be replaced by AI is because you have no talent. You have no experiences. You never had to suffer like people. Like the universal thing that used to unite all human beings is that you had to work and suffer to survive. You had to support yourselves. That has been completely taken away by government checks and daddies. It's just been completely taken away. So none of you know what it's like to sacrifice. None of you know how hard it is for someone who actually has to pay whatever their way through college, come up with money for a down payment on a house with no help from their parents. You have no fucking clue. That's you want to marry Phil. That's Lance, the investment banker who went to Harvard and daddy paid for shit. You don't care. Never mind. But having none of you actually be adults and support yourself, you have no familiarity with the common man or common woman. And all you do is regurgitate the shit you heard in K through college. So not only are you late, and you don't do a good job, right? At one time, Hollywood has always leaned left, but you still had some amazingly creative people. And if they put in their message, it was cleverly hidden. You almost had to applaud it a little bit. Like Sierra Leone, he was the director, right? Who is the musician? Ennio Marconi. Sergio Leone was the director, if I remember this correctly. And a lot of those guys had leftist communist leanings. You don't see it unless you're looking for it. But it was cleverly put in there. And those are some of the greatest bits of film ever. Do you know suck it. I'm gonna go pick up that thing. Was that clever? Was that clever, She-Hulk writers? It's a guy. I'm gonna go talk to that thing over there. Yes, because that's what guys do. That's what every guy does. Wow, it got canceled. And kind of what prompted this, right, is okay, you're getting rid of the DEI. You're still not out of the woods. You're still doubling down on your laziness. You're never going to hire talented people. You're never going to hire non-lazy people. Good luck finding non-lazy people. You alienated all the talented people and they left. Some people just burned out and want to retire. Great. You got rid of the racism and bigotry and sexism. And you got rid of the politics. Okay, you're going to write a good original. No, Back to the Future 78. Avengers, cripples with walkers. And who's going to write it? Bunch of worthless people who have degrees in English in an English-speaking country. I'll pit my my fiction against nonfiction. I'll pit my fiction and my nonfiction economic books against your fiction of magical space wizardry and love and milking of the cow farm or whatever fucking degenerate. I'll pit my writing against it anything. I'm a better writer because I'm not lazy. I have talent and I have experience. I guarantee you, I could write a better movie script. I got like 3 fiction books I've been wanting to write. Don't have time. My market is nonfiction. Anyway, if you limp dicks in Hollywood, oh wait, Hollywood's not producing movies anymore. Anybody who's got money, Netflix maybe? Oh wait, that's right. We got to do the Rings of Power with Black Dwarf Lady. Never mind. I guess these books will never be written and they'll never be turned into movies. Like I guess we'll then what are we gonna get? What do we get to look forward to? What upcoming releases and prequels and sequels do we have in 2026 coming up? You thought 2025 was bad for movies. Wait for 2026. Anyway, what triggered this, and it's just pissing off all the inferior people in the creative industries, movies, journalism, writing, video games, whatever. So there's a game called Expedition 33. I've played it. It's not my favorite game. I had my reservations about it, but there was no doubt it was an amazing game, right? You know, some people don't like split pea soup, me being one of them, but that I know there's some split pea soup out there for split pea enthusiasts who, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. So I'm not like, it can't be good if it's split pea soup. This is one of those things. This is the best split pea soup you're ever going to see. I like split pea soup, sure. This is the best split pea soup I've ever tasted. Not my thing. But for those who like split pea soup, this is a great game. But regardless, this was an amazing game all over. And you could tell that the people created it were incredibly intelligent, incredibly talented. And another thing, actually passionate. Not this bullshit you low IQ fucks get out of K through 12 from you stupid IQ teachers. Do what you're passionate about. Whatever you're passionate about, the money will follow. Yeah, once you start sucking dick at a truck stop because your journalism degree doesn't get you any money. Yes, the money will follow, but it won't because of your passion. We're talking people actually give a shit about what they do, not you people. All right. And it came out. And the big thing about Expedition 33 is it came from an independent studio. And they're saying, well, its budget was only $35 million, which is still not chump change, but it's smaller on the grand scheme of things. And this is compared to other video games that are 100 million. I think Grand Theft Auto, are they estimating it's over $500 million for the development costs? Commonly going over $100 million in development. Sony spent $400 million on the acquisition and further development of a game called Concord. And then went, oh shit, look out, oh my God, oh diversity, oh my God. That just had diversity ejaculated all over themselves. Like, oh my God. It's just rainbow colored, never mind. Sony, how was that $400 million? Wait, wasn't that where they, to their credit, after 2 weeks, Sony was that Dragon's Age? No, I think it was Sony. I think it was Concord. Yeah, pretty sure it was Concord, where they refunded everyone their purchase because it was such a bad game. Was that Concord? It was one of those games where Democrats and leftists and ideologues and activists were in charge and no talent, and nobody with real world working experience or work ethic, period, was involved. Point is, big studios, lots of money, thrice the budget easy. An Expedition 33 comes in with $35 million. And they just make, it was hands down, by far the best video game of 2020. Probably the best video game, I'd say, in 5 years. Because didn't Ghost of Tsushima come out 5 years ago? That's an opinion, of course. But it was, not everyone likes Casablanca, but everyone knows it's a phenomenal movie. I mean, it is a high quality. That's a 5-star movie. Butch Cassidy's Sundance Kid, Midnight Run, 5 stars, right? May not be a thing, but 5 stars. Well, here's an economics lesson, ladies and gentlemen. When you get rid of the DEI and you get rid of the politics and you actually have hardworking, talented people and you have a work ethic, it is amazing what you can do. Now with $35 million. This is from GameSpot, which again, don't trust it because it's journalists. Try under $10 million. Clear Obscure Expedition 33 has been one of 2025's breakout success stories in gaming, and it was developed on a relatively small budget, apparently. The New York Times reported that the budget was less than $10 million, crediting the information to developer Sandfall. The report added that the team conserved resources by purposely avoiding an open world setup in favor of making Expedition 33 a turn-based game. God, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about it because it was a good fucking game. It was quality. Whoever the art director was, bravo, sir or madam. You are a genius. It was just wow. Even the enemy development, there were no eyes. None of the enemies had eyes. It was brilliant. Sandfall's Guillaume Broche said Sandfall has now has the right technology to make those games with a relatively small team, and he hopes to see more like it from other studios. Games like this are coming. We are lucky to be early, he said. Broche did not elaborate as to what technology specifically he was referring to. You don't need to fill your game with hundreds of hours of checklist content. Expedition 33 was also notable for its relatively low price point. The game sells at $50 instead of $70. Going on and on and on. Yeah, it won a bunch of awards, which I was surprised because award shows mean nothing now. It's all that. That is under $10 million. A game that sold, I forgot, 12 million millions of people happy. Millions of people happy, entertained for hours. I think it took me 40 hours to conquer. $10 million. Millions of people, scores of hours. We are talking a ton of economic production in terms of entertainment. She-Hulk, $25 million an episode to get yelled at. So for 2.5 Expedition 33s, you could get one episode of She-Hulk Attorney at Law, and it's absolute ass cancer. Absolute ass cancer because you had asswipes in charge of its production. I looked at The Acolyte. The Acolyte's even worse, $29 million per episode. Total budget, $230 million over 8 seasons. Or I'm sorry, 8 episodes. 8 seasons, that makes sense. 8 episodes. And just not joking. Lesbian space witches. Look it up. Oh, and the lecturing and the sermonizing from the producers or the whatever the staff. I don't know the ranks in Hollywood. The people in charge who are in charge of being upset because obviously you're all fascists and it wasn't made for you and fuck off, pig. And oh my God, you're the next, literally Hitler. That's $250 million. You could have paid off a fair amount of people's student loans by now, or at least lowered everybody's a little bit. I'm not a big charity guy, but if we're going to piss away fucking money, Why don't we help out some people? Right? Not a charitable guy, not a Democrat. But I'm kind of like, and let's be real. Okay, let's bail out the people who majored in like engineering and accounting first because they at least tried. And then down the road, you get your master's in fine arts. Maybe we give you a nickel. Say, hey, here's a nickel. Yeah, you got to serve some more coffee and go down to the truck stop. And then, no, I don't have to go through this. People can't find work. People who are writer. The writer's strike was a nice touch. That's guy write Marxist diarrhea, and then like we're going on strike and no AI. Like why? AI can replace you. I mean, it won't sell. It's hilarious. You're both wrong. The writers are wrong. Where yes, AI can replace you. I think you guys know that. You're that talentless. And you think, well, then they'll give us money if we get rid of AI. Fine, let's say you get rid of AI. It's still going to be dog shit. And the studios think that AI can replace you because they think what you wrote was acceptable. Otherwise, they wouldn't have funded it, which means AI is still going to have dog shit. And no one's going to go read your books or watch your shows or watch your movie or listen to your Marxist translated anime. By the way, if you didn't know, they just can't do it. Japan has anime, Japanese cartoons. When they come here, they translate it, right? They have a American English voiceover. Well, can you believe that the California voiceover companies are filled with leftist activists and they mistranslate to put their own Marxist messages in? Wow, what are the chances? That's why you always get the subtitled version from Japan. People don't, no one gives a shit what you people want. Right? When you writers, creators, innovators, content creators, when you go out and you buy a Big Mac, what do you want? You want a Big Mac. Does the Big Mac person say, no, here's a book on socialism and women being oppressed? No, you want a Big Mac. If you could imagine this thing called other people, and they've sacrificed bits of their lives to get this thing called money, that's their time, that's their life, and they would like to buy an entertaining movie from you. And you say, fuck you, I don't know, here's your fucking leftist propaganda. Oh, you didn't buy the pie? Oh, I hate you, and you deserve to be in a concentration camp. Okay, no one's ever said that far. Here's some Marxist, leftist, socialist, feminist propaganda in your anime. I know you just want to chill out on a Sunday and relax and watch some cartoons. But here, we're going to tell you about the patriarchy. You are going, it's not good. You guys are going to, it's going to happen. Or like, I mean, it's already happened. It's happening before our eyes. You will see Hollywood and established mainstream video game developers, like the mainstream media is failing. Oh my God, did PBS? Well, PBS didn't get shut down. Corporation for Public Broadcasting got shut down. And the funding of which is now not going to PBS. So now you guys have to work in the private sector or nonprofits. See, you Democrats keep those things public now. Let's see you fund them. Where was it going with this? Oh, shit. Forgot. Something along the lines is, oh, that's right. This entire generation, you're seeing PBS and government media collapsing. You're seeing the mainstream media collapsing. People are switching to YouTube or anything else. Like people would rather be on fucking Twitter or Facebook, for God's sakes, than watch your fucking shit. You will see them collapse because it's an entire generation that's been co-opted. I don't mean like one generation, like millennials. No, I mean like a generation of all Americans alive right now. Everyone in the creative industries has been co-opted to put their politics first. And instead of being passionate and working hard and developing a skill or an ability, all they've done is channel that towards their leftist politics. And I wish I was being simple or reducing it. I'm not. That's all it is. And they will never give that up. That's the number one thing. They always put their politics ahead of profit and productivity and their profession. Their entire existence in being is their politics. Why else are liberal white women at 78 years old banging pots like Rupert the Monkey Boy, look it up, in Minneapolis? Because that's all they have is their politics. Why did Kathleen Kennedy make it? Because all she got is their politics and a shit ton of money. They're not capable of making, because they're not going to do it. And secondly, really, what are they going to, come on, who's creative anymore? You need to live the normal human life to be creative. You need to live the normal human life to have a work ethic and get rid of your laziness. You guys won't do it. There is not enough people in the industry today to come up with original ideas, the work ethic to execute on them correctly, and the talent to execute on them correctly, and the work ethic to put the sheer energy and hours in to do it and do it right. Expedition 33 is the exception, not the rule. And you're going to see it. Xbox, I mean, no one's buying an Xbox anymore. Oh, yes. Rainbow colored armor for the Spartans. That's really what we need. Yeah, that's what we need. The remakes and the prequel. Oh my God. Just when's the last time an original came out that was good? When? You got to hand it to John Hughes. I don't know where he got his idea. Was Ferris Bueller's Day Off based on a book? Was Uncle Buck based on a book? You got to hand it to him. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Was that based on a book? Or was it just in the mind of John Hughes? If you want, if there is a movie developing studio out there, I have 3 books. Now, hold on to your tampons that Governor Waltz gave you. Okay, everyone hold on to your tampon. Cup it down there, all right? There's no politics in my books. None. I mean, maybe a little wink or nod or something. Maybe I'll get a dig in on something, but no, there's not going to be any underlying messages on. These are just straight up. And one is a Harlequin, well, not a Harlequin romance novel. It's a Hallmark. I'd say I'd put it up there more romantic comedy. I would put it on par with Down with Love. If you've ever seen that, that's the last good romantic comedy come on. I think that's 15 years old. Charming. Was it Renee Zellweger? Her performance at the end is phenomenal. You're like, good Lord. And I'm not a big touchy-feely guy. I got a romantic comedy. I got a straight up great action flick, a revenge action flick, and then one that's more deep and philosophical with a little bit of sci-fi. Not a lot, just a little bit. That may be the most political one because it is deep and philosophical, so it has to draw upon society. If you would like me to write these books, you're going to have to pay me to, so I can take the time off from my other shit that I know I'm going to make money on. And then not only we're talking like $2 million a book for me to write it, right? Oh, by the way, I get to keep the rights. You're just paying me to not work on other shit. And then we have a deal where you make a movie, all right? And I want a half. I don't know. I probably can't get half the budget. I mean, you need to make a profit. No, wait, you're Disney. You don't need to make a profit. Yeah, Disney for you will be half. What the fuck do you care? Yeah, girl bosses. Yeah, it's got a bunch of fat, loud feminists in it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, all the bad guys are white guys. Yeah, straight white guy. Yeah, give me the money. Yeah, give me up front, please. Thank you. Actually, I won't get any money out of $0 because half of zero sick because no one's going to watch that shit. I'd have to see what the industry deal is. Like, do you get percentage? Does the writer get a percentage? And then whatever the percentage is, industry average, I'm like, yeah, double that. Yeah, so it's $2 million up for me to write it. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take double what you pay people normally as a percentage of sales. That's my take. Oh, and then when we go in there, the director can direct, but it's going to be my fucking story. No, space monkeys will not be attacking. Look that up. It's a funny one, Eddie Izzard. No, the hero in one of my books is actually a black guy. Why is he a black guy? Because it just seemed that way. It's just like, you ever think like you come up with a hero or a character? Like, yeah, kind of a Santa Claus-y looking kind of black guy. Yeah, white beard, black skin, very pronounced, not poofy, not big, trimmed, but he's portly because he's a little bit older. Just popped in your head. We thought we'd make her a what? No. It will be a middle-aged black man who is slightly portly with a white beard. Now fuck off. Well, we took polling, and your polling has been wrong and cost you billions of dollars. Shut the fuck up. You can reach me at assholeconsulting.com and we can negotiate terms there. I guarantee you my book / turned into movies. I mean, assume it's filmed and done correctly, will bring you more money than any of the horseshit you've had there, because I don't think any it's hard not to beat zero. It's hard not to be loss. Oh, wait, but I'm not a Nepo baby and I don't know anybody. Is there a studio or is it the studio? I don't know, because there's Disney, but then there's studios, right? I know there's EA and then there's video game studios. Is it the same way? Whoever's in charge of the money, give it to me. And if you need references, please contact me. If you'd like, read my work. And then Ladasha came in with her lightsabers and beat the shit out of the white guy. Space Nazis. And no one shut up for the movie, and it grossed $200,000 in the first 3 weeks in the box office. Let's go to Super Chat. Cyberbully, $5. I think movies and games would still be dying industries, even if they were good. People don't have the attention span for them. Short form content. You're not wrong, but I don't think it would be as lopsided as you obviously think it would be. I love me a good God of War. Dude, I've been playing Black Flag. I've been playing short form. What do you got? How long can you look at TikTok? And here's another question, Cyberbully. Would you say that of boys too, young boys? Like, do you think they want to be on I can see girls being addicted to social media. Boys, not so much. I think boys need to go on some kind of adventure. They need to play Skyrim. They got to imagine they're battling a dragon or fighting the bad guy or saving the world from an evil James Bond villain. I think there's still a mark. I'm sorry, you need to target boys, straight boys who like women and like fun and want to be the good guy. They don't want politics. Nope, they don't. They don't want to see a girl with pink hair. Nope. Hat and Clogs, $2. Chicken wing bones for the chicken wing bone throne. Chicken wing bones for the chicken wing bone. Game of Pointy Chair show. Curious Alien, 25, $5. Economist, fortune teller Cappy worked 30 years as an engineer under a defined benefit plan in California, or cyber engineer in private. Texas. Like, if you're just starting now, 30 years in engineer under defined benefit. No. I'm going to assume that's public sector and it's the state. And then you got to live in California. There's no way you should live in California. Absolutely. Texas all the way. You couldn't. If you paid me $1 million for 1 year, I'd live in California. And I could leave, I could go off to Northern California or inland, but I wouldn't do more than a year. Shit. Wyoming, same way. Hand Clogs, $2. Barbecue sauce for the chicken tendies. You got to put it in your arm. Now, I don't know about you, Hat. Sometimes I save that for the spicy chicken, like the buffalo sauce. And then the left, it's more for the rub. There's a nutmeg salt rub. They do pretty good at one of the chicken places I go. I put that on my left armpit. And my right armpit's really hot and sweaty, but this one's a little more aerated. Son of Sam, sorry, $5. It reminds me of that battle of the sexes tennis match. They put limitations for the man, but isn't that the confession that the men were better? I'm wondering how much of that was fanfare in theater. Like all these girls on TikTok saying the most purposely crafted and provocative things just to get clicks. I'm not saying that they don't represent what women think in the public. I don't think they perfectly accurately represent it, but it's purposely agitated. There's so much fake news going around. Hat, $2. Clear Obscure, which is also Expedition 33 for people who didn't know, was made for less than $10 million. Yep. Yes, it was. Son of Sam, $5. Localization and censorship is the reason why subbed is the only way to watch anime. Yep. Yep. There is no reason to buy American media. There just isn't. Unless they purposely come out and say, we are not woke. We're not promoting Republican or Donald Trump's platform. We simply have Laura Croft with big tits. What's she doing? She's doing Laura Croft things. She's finding treasures and stuff and going on adventure. She's female Indiana Jones that we all liked. We all liked. And then you gave us Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Fuck you. Fuck you. Are you guys gonna keep trying to sell us feminists? Like, is that you do know the internet has made it factual, logical to hate the fake feminine, not the real feminists who actually are strong and independent, like the 3% of them. You do know, like, dump him and we're done with it now. Girl bosses are not popular even among women, but you want to spend another $250 billion and not help bail out some student loan. Disney, media, video game industry, lend me your ears, right? You're leftist, correct? Why don't you help out leftist people? Why don't you bail out the students? Goose, $5. You can't trust them with any IPs, even their own stuff. They smash their own toys. Just look at Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling. Yeah, I don't know what the latest with Harry Potter is. I played the game. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it very much. There was some woke shit in there. And there was even a trans person, and then J.K. Rowling still gets in trouble with people. It's like, okay. I'm not having a turd in the punch bowl, but it's a really small turd, and it's at the end of the I'm not having a turd in the punch bowl. Not doing it. Stop watching Invincible once I saw Amber. I'm not watching The Boys. Well, in part because it got boring, and they're just running around in houses and tunnels the entire time for the third season. Then they're like, oh my God, we hate Trump. Ha ha ha. Nope. I'm not watching left. I am not giving money to people who hate me. And maybe Hollywood needs to hear this. You don't have to like the people. You just have to not hate them, right? When I come up with my romantic comedy, it is very much accounting on how the main movie-going audience would be female. And by the way, this is leagues higher quality than the standard horseshit you're going to get on the Hallmark Channel. This is more akin to Down with Love. And I do not, like, if I ever am going to write it, I'm not going to, and then the stupid bitches better learn to make cookies and make a cake when barefoot and pregnant. No. That's really going to ruin it, right? So if you can imagine, I don't put my politics into a product that I want to sell, especially one that's supposed to be fun and lighthearted. I even know that one I've given some considerable thought to, and I know like 2 actors. I'm like, oh, I would need these guys in these roles. They'd be perfect. Oh, why the shame of that. All this work I did on economics and research and frontier of thought on sexual economics and all that. And then I write some one-off Harlequin romance thing. It gets, and that's how I make my millions and I become famous. Just like TFM photoshopping smiles on Brie Larson's face. That's what we're going to be known for. All right, that's it. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. Link below for those of you who would like, get a soul. If you would like to learn some talent, and so that maybe by the time you're 45, 50, maybe then you could return to the creative industry world and actually have some life experience. And, oh, this is what normal people with jobs like. You get my book, How Not to Become a Millennial. Goes through all the bullshit and lies they were told and how to overcome that. Now, millennials are about 40 years old now. A lot of you Hollywood people about the same, right? It's a 10-year journey. So by the time you're 50, maybe you'll have the experience not to write absolute dog shit. And then you could actually go down in history. It's like, yeah, they wrote a good thing. Contact me though. Send your people. assholeconsulting.com. $2 million bucks. Let me know. See you guys later. Toodles.